Hi, this is Doug Ward from Tech Britain. Today we're at the Birmingham Science Park with Mark Hales from founder of Oxygen Accelerator.
Hi.
Thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Just for our viewers, you'd like to let them know about your background first, mate?
I spent 10 years building a healthcare business from pretty much zero. When I took over, we were turning over about £250,000 a year. We employed about 20 people. When I sold that business in November 2009, we were employing 4,500 people and we were turning over 65 million. So went through quite a big growth phase, learned a lot along the way in terms of how to scale the business, learned a lot about employment, learned a lot about acquisitions. I did 30 acquisitions, did multiple fundraisings both in the private market and the public market. And sold quite a few businesses, so I think learned a lot of business skills along the way, and actually had some good times, some bad times, but overall passionate about business, love business. So that's kind of my background. When we sold the business in November 2009, I originally said to my family, right, I'm going to take 12 months off and do nothing. Those 12 months lasted 12 days. Before the phone started ringing and I started to get involved in businesses again. And I guess I just can't stop myself. I particularly love working with young entrepreneurs. Passion, the enthusiasm, the ambition, and to try and help them is hugely satisfying. So Oxygen came about because of that largely. My will, to set up something in Birmingham. I live in Birmingham, wanted to support the local community, wanted to create inward investment, wanted to encourage businesses to come to Birmingham. The tech community in Birmingham was quite nascent at that time, so we wanted to stimulate that, we wanted to pump prime it, and we wanted to make things happen, and Oxygen hopefully is our tool to make that happen.
So it's a fantastic asset for Birmingham.
Thank you.
For people who don't know the Accelerator Experience, what can they expect?
13 weeks of intensive fun with a capital F, hard work with a capital H, and just sheer lunacy. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. It's 13 weeks of intensive boot camp. We spend a month working around the solution. Is it the right solution? Challenging all of the assumptions, challenging the team. We do that with our mentor base. We've got over 100 mentors that come in and challenge the teams, ask really intelligent questions. And actually it's quite interesting to watch what happens in that first month, because so many of the assumptions get proven wrong that what comes out at the end of that first month is quite often something materially different to what went in. So I think that's really good. We're making people fail early and fail hard, and then we're picking them up and taking them on to something that works. Month 2 then is about build. So having spent a month challenging all of the assumptions, having it robustly tested by people who know what they're talking about, people who've had the t-shirt and all that sort of stuff. Month 2 is about build. And again, there's smart ways to build things. Far too often I've seen programmers, developers that literally just do this. And what comes out the other end, frankly, most of the time is just shit.
Yeah.
So actually just making people stop and think and do things in a bit of a structured way that says, okay, what's the journey we want to take people on? And what are the steps in that journey? And let's build it right first time. I think the teams would say is hugely valuable. Just putting some thought process into how we build something. And also having an eye to the future, and of course we've got people like Google and Amazon supporting the program, so having an eye to the future in terms of how we scale to the point where we've got thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of users. What sort of architecture do we need to think about? Actually is really valuable for the teams. And then month 3, the final month, is all about getting ready for sale. When I say sale, what I mean is raising money to take us to the next stage. So we spend a lot of time looking at, proving some of the underlying business assumptions, starting to get some traction, getting out there and getting the service used or the site used, selling the service to customers, whether they be business customers or private individuals. We spend time developing our pitch so that the teams are articulate about what it is that they want to do, the solution that they're solving, and their market, and how much money they need and how they're going to use it. And then at the end of the 13 weeks, we put all of that together and we put them in front of investors. And last year we put our teams into 2 investor days, which between them saw 180 angel investors, high net worths, VCs and private equity houses.
Fantastic thing, but again, for Birmingham. In terms of Birmingham's tech community, what would you like to see for the future, Mark?
I think our primary aim in Birmingham has to be around follow-on funding for the tech community. There's a huge talent pool in Birmingham from the universities, from the communities. We've got a huge university base here that's punching out some really bright guys. What we haven't got in Birmingham at the moment, which we've got to work on, is having the investors there to support them, and educating the investors. In the Midlands in particular, we're very much old industry. A lot of the wealth in the Midlands comes from old industry. And those people that have built up manufacturing businesses and whatever else actually just don't understand tech. They want to invest into early stage businesses, but they don't understand technology. And what we've got to do, I think, is try and find ways of educating those people that have the funds about what they can do with this tech community, how they can mitigate their risks, how to identify the teams to back, and then hopefully provide a vehicle under which they can do that. So that certainly for me in the next few years is the major challenge. When I set up Oxygen last year, there was little or no investment going on in tech. This year we've already raised probably £750,000 in total funding around the tech scene. We've also got a commitment from Birmingham City Council. They've created a £1 million tech fund. So I think in the space of 12 months, we've actually achieved a lot, but we've still got a lot to do.
And are you happy with the support of the government so far?
I think I am on the whole. I think it's naive of anybody to think that the government is there to do for us. And for those that sit back and criticise the government about what they don't do all the time, it's a route to a quick heart attack. You're just going to end up getting yourself frustrated. The reality is that the government do come out with initiatives. It's about identifying which ones work for you and then quietly getting on with it in the background yourself. My experience has been that if I create something and prove it works, the government or the local authorities will come in behind it after the event. So perhaps the role of the government isn't to start things. The role of the government and spending taxpayers' money is to follow things that are successful. And I think I've proven that model. We funded Oxygen, or I funded Oxygen entirely last time round. Big risk, big expense, but actually having done it last year, the local authorities are now very, very supportive of it this year. So I think get out there and make it happen, and then they'll follow you.
And anybody who's wanting to get involved, where can they find out about Oxygen?
They can apply to Oxygen online at www.oxygenaccelerator.com. Applications open on the 1st of June. We've already had over 60 applications, so it's going to be a good year, I think.
Fantastic. It's been a real pleasure meeting you. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Cheers.